Kia ora, lovely Aquarius. Thanks for joining me. Yes, I have not uploaded anything for a wee while, but this time we're going to do something different on the channel, on the Lightroom forecast. We're just doing an overview of the next 3 months. So October, November, December. This month we have this, of course, the new moon's just passed, just behind us. So if you're planting your seeds and doing a bit of groundwork, then we should see some major big shifts and changes at the full moon on the 20th, the full moon in Aries on the 20th of this month. And there are some very interesting planetary aspects to this full moon in Aries. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. So today we're doing it real simple, one card for each October, November, December, for each month. We'll go through and clarify those, and I've already pulled a few cards from the Journey Map, Kim Cran's Animal Spirit, and Harlequin and Star cards. They're face down. I don't know what they are, so we'll see if they relate to this overview for you, Aquarius, for the next few months. So let's get, using the Thoth deck, let's get some cards here. So we're looking at October for Aquarius, please. October. Putting them out face down for a change. November. Should be very interesting for Aquarians, I think. And December, as we near the end of the year. I mean, it is a chaotic sort of world at the moment, isn't it? I guess it always has been, but more accelerated. Time seems to be speeding up and slowing down. Anyway, let's see, Aquarius. And as I said, we will go through and clarify for you. So these are face down. It's always exciting. We see in the month of October, wow, you really are awaiting. I say awaiting because we get the Princess of Discs, one of my absolute favourite cards in this deck. This is a timing card because simply for the fact that it's a seasonal card, we see the trees just about to sprout. And we also see the princess, non-gendered here, about to give birth to something long awaited, in fact, something creatively. It could be anything in the material sense of the word. Something that's been in the pipeline for quite a while comes into fruition for you, lovely Aquarius, in October. And as I said, we will clarify a little bit more to expand on the story. November sees us with the Nine of Cups, a very emotionally independent card. There's something about this this development in October, this bringing in a new form of life, a new creation of sorts, and that could be anything depending on what's going on in your world. A project that's been overdue, maybe limited by timing, limited by a kind of seasonal element. But we see definitely that there is a great presentation here of it. You feel it around you. You know where everything is. You've got your ducks in a row, is what I hear. You've got your ducks in a row by November. This is great, and I've just suddenly not got my ducks in a row, but the pigeons I've been feeding seeds. They've discovered, here they are. They're all coming in usually at the same time. This happens every day. So the ducks are in a row for you, Aquarius. December, we see you taking a little bit of time out. We get the Hanged Man. Now, this is a necessary... there's a level of... what's the word? There's a level of... By the time we veer into the end of November for you, there's a level of comfort in the Nine of Cups. Because you know where everything is, and everything is where you wanted it to be. Which means that heading into December here with the Hanged Man, that you actually have a chance to just step back. Take some time out. It's, to me, the Hanged Man's like sort of nothing in, nothing out, and it's necessary. It doesn't last. It's just a necessary moment in time, like the juices and the chrysalid are doing their thing, you know. Again, it's like liminal space, that space between one transition into another. So let's just clarify a little bit for you, Aquarius. We're looking at the gorgeous Princess of Discs awaiting this birth. That is not going to be disappointing. In fact, it's like this very, very happy result. Could we not, you know, it's like, yeah, as we were saying, you know, this princess is like a timing card. So we get Temperance, the divine timing card. It's as if there's a gestation as much in October as there is in December, but the one coming later on down the piece is the next step in a kind of transformative process. It's the next step in a birth. So we have two gestation phases in this sort of being settled in your place, in your right place with the Nine of Cups, feeling quite satisfied and happy. You're bookended with two levels of gestation is what it feels like, and transition. So here we see the beautiful angel, the Temperance card. It's a beautiful card. It's a very alchemical card. Everything needs to be at the right time, in the right place, the right volume, the right recipe. And it is in process as we speak. Let's look at this Nine of Cups for got one card for Aquarius. Let's see. For Aquarius. Okay. It's getting late in the day now, but so November, Nine of Cups, ducks in a row, feeling pretty happy with the way that things are going in November, feeling pretty satisfied. Here we have the King of Swords. I love the King of Swords because to me, I always get this sort of image of this king sort of sweeping through an environment, sweeping through an atmosphere, clear, concise, discerning. I love it. And with that we get the Three of Discs. Here in November we're in a position where we really understand actually our ability to get things done in a way that was required and that was necessary for us. But the thing is that we, with this Three of Discs, we see that collaboration has been and is the key. And yes, there may be more collaborative efforts going on, but this is a wonderful card, the Three of Discs. It's not only about working with other people, but it is about building a really solid and new foundation for yourself, whether that's you know, going over goals or plans for the future or the near future. You're really building some solid new foundations that have a new story to them, that have new potentials, that hold a lot of really exciting stuff. So, and you're quite clear and precise with the way that you want to work with it and the way that you want to move with it, with that King of Swords. So it's really amazing, Aquarius. Now let's have a wee look at the Hanged Man, because the Hanged Man in December seems to promise that actually there's this whole other kind of, it's like the second coming, as it were, or the second birthing. It's just in a different way, you know. It's still a metamorphosis. It's still a transformation. Let's see the Hanged Man for Aquarius, please. We'll just get one more card. Oopsies. One more card. We had this, actually, I've got, with the Hanged Man, we had the Queen of Discs coming out. Now the Queen has sort of worked towards this point for a long time. And because she is a queen and sits on the throne, they can do whatever they want. But, you know, there's a generosity about the Queen of Discs. There's a real generosity, because in some decks also the Queen of Discs is actually reviewing. And she often reminds me of a camel, because she's reviewing and looking back from the mountaintop, looking back how she got up to that point. And she got up to that point because she had great resilience and perseverance and an internal sort of well to draw on to get to that point. So I think this is really beautiful to have that Queen in December sitting on the throne, generous, fair and confident in terms of her own ability. Interestingly, we get this card coming out at the same time, and it actually came out twice, because I put it back the first time. The Four of Swords. Look, if there is a time at this time in December for respite, for rest, once all the, because it seems like there's a lot of activity going on here, especially in November, or actually October and November. So by December it is time to have a rest. It is time to just rest and confidently knowing, you know, you've reached this. This is a big point to reach, let alone here in December. So it is time to just sit back and rest. Review, ask for, you know, to be, to have some guidance for new direction, if that's what's required, whatever is required. But you can access this in the Four of Swords, in this card of rest and respite. There is an element, which I do have felt lately, an element in this card, and in some decks it is portrayed that way. There's a monastic element about this, that we are contained and we are protected, and so we are free to be open to guidance at this time. So I think that's really amazing, Aquarius. And we'll just get something from the pixies and fairies now. Could do October for Aquarius, please. Honestly, Aquarius, right? October. Yeah, we might be getting a bit frustrated with timing and things like that, and maybe it's happening, it's happening. We get to allay any concerns whatsoever. We get this gorgeous fairy godmother lit up like a Christmas tree. This is sort of suggesting it's not sort of suggesting, it is saying, look, everything is going to plan, and don't worry. So that's pretty amazing. Let's look at this Nine of Cups here in November. The King of Swords. This wonderful, we just get one card, this wonderful Three of Discs. As I say, the King of Swords. The King of Swords could be aspects of yourself, but it could be someone that you come across. It could be someone that you know in your world, a particular personality. But they are really sort of efficient, and they really get things moving. And I kind of get this, which I did before with the King. I mean, it's interesting what comes through. I did when the King came out. I get this sort of like, you can, it's like you feel the breeze of the force, like the wind of the force of this King coming through, and sort of really, it may well be aspects of yourself, Aquarius, but also like the leather, like the sort of leather of the pants or the jacket, the hard leather that's been in all sorts of different worlds and environments, and maybe it's leather armor or something, but I just get that, Anyway, I digress. For the central point for the Nine of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Three of Discs, collaboration, building new foundations. Aquarius, what do we get? We get the second card out of Brian Frode's Fairy Oracle, called Ecstasies. This is two becoming one. Whether it's two becoming one, three becoming one, with the Three of Discs, it's certainly creating. It's creating its own, it's generating as it joins together. This is like a mirrored image. And it's electrical, it's magnetic. It's as if the two pieces have joined together, and now they're able to actually take flight, to do what it was in fact their purpose to do. This card is called Ecstasies, so it's a really euphoric, electrical card, an ecstatic card. Ecstasies, beautiful, taking flight. We're seeing the physical manifestations of your dreams, your efforts, your desires in November. Aquarius, let's have a look at the Hanged Man, the beautiful Queen, Queen of Discs, and the beautiful healing card of respite. We've probably got a few too many. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We've just got three. Excuse me. Interesting. we have the singer of initiation, and I do believe this is indeed an initiation. This is a new beginning, but it's almost as if it's like over a 3-month period, you're bringing in something, comes into form really quickly, and then you have time and you have the ability to just sit back, retreat, rest for a period, because there's going to be some more new developments. It's like pacing yourself, Aquarius. This whole thing has been an initiation for you, this whole process. And it will continue to be, I would imagine, into next year easily. There's new things afoot, and it's almost like, is what I get, is that there's a timer here. That there's a whole series of timers that have been set already. So it's like, through December, maybe a time of rest. Mid-January, boop, there's one timer goes off. So you at this other point. Then mid-Feb, another timer goes off. March, another timer. Your timing is really good here. But I do get that sense that it's almost like it's like setting a whole series of alarms, projecting forward. And I don't know why I get that, but anywho, so what was this now? We have the singer of initiation. I got a bit carried away with the image of these timers going off. So we have the beautiful honesty card. Now this speaks of, it's interesting, the honesty card, we have Epona's wild daughter, which is really looking, it's actually really looking down in the corridors of our own past and shining light into some of those shadowy areas that maybe we're not that conscious of, but we know that we're sort of a little bit conscious of, I think this whole process, or whatever its situation is, it could be for someone specific out there, Aquarius, for some specific person, but I think this trajectory that you've been on, the goals that you've had in place, this has been going on for a decent length of time, and all the ins and outs of it and the people that you've met along the way have, what's the word? Have actually, on one level, allowed you to open up a lot more, like really truly open up, especially around the heart, to really, really open up quite honestly without having to be afraid of those sort of half-conscious knowledge of those dark corners. Some of the residue of past is what I get. That this whole process has been not only beneficial in this for you, because this is about your own evolution and development, but it's not only been beneficial, it's actually allowed this. The whole thing's worked like a clock mechanism, and all the little pieces have worked together. Some of those pieces are people, some of them are you, some of them are just about that timing of getting it right. It's actually really amazing. Aquarius. It's pretty wild. Now, we don't know what these cards are, so I'm just going to pick up the Kim Cran's animal spirit cards. Wow. So, lovely Aquarius. We had 2 from Kim Cran's. We have Hairy Legs Tarantula, which is a, I've left my book somewhere else in New Zealand, so I just go off what I feel. This beautiful spider. And he's not sitting in a web, actually just kind of roaming around, having a good time, letting the wind blow through his hairy bits. That's what I get from this. And then we have the beautiful starfish. There's a lot of things that we don't see with the starfish. There's a duality here. So we see this beautiful shape. We know a starfish when we see it. And what it appears to be on the surface, what we usually see when we see a starfish on the bottom of the in the bottom of the sea, or on a rock, or on the beach, we don't see the underneath. We just see that gorgeous, beautiful patterns, beautiful colours, and underneath there's all sorts of little things going on, that we're not necessarily aware of. We don't necessarily see. But with the tarantula, it's kind of like, well, this is what I mean about the duality. He, she is just right out there, crawling, having a good time. All those little hairy bits blowing in the wind. There's nothing hidden there. Interesting, Aquarius. My microphone just dropped off. Hang on. Now, journey map card. Wow, eruption. This is like seeing your own strength. This is a card of, okay, so what comes from an eruption? We hear the rumblings. In fact, we might be watching an eruption. We might be watching it on TV, or we might be looking out the window and we live in a volcanic environment and there's an eruption going on. But what comes from this is, from all this movement, noise, heat, all this heat, we get beautiful obsidian, something very clear, crystal, something to scry in, a new mirroring device to show us different elements of ourselves. There's so many aspects to this card of eruption, but I think it's here to indicate, the strength that you have built up over the last couple of years, Aquarius, a new level of strength. And what does the star card have to say? And this is where and why, this is why you're where you are right now, my friend, is your divine guidance is helping you with those decisions, activations, and downloads. Well, pretty amazing, Aquarius. And do check out your other signs if you know your moon, ascendant, Venus and Jupiter. But thanks for joining me here today, and take good care, and just keep on keeping on, because it's looking damn good, Aquarius. Take good care. Have a good week. Oh, where's that gone? There it is. Cheerio for now.